Nice. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Happy to talk to you again. As always, we have a lovely show for you. I got an email the other day that is, for some people, it would be worrying. For me, it was exciting. I got an email from the whatever department that tickets people, like leaves tickets on people's cars, parking, whatever. I got an email from them saying that if I don't pay my balance of however many tickets I have, they're gonna tow or boot my car. Now, what's fun about this story is I got rid of my car months ago. And I don't have a car at the moment. And
turned in your plates and everything?
That's by design. Well, see, I have the plates. So,
isn't that a whole nother offense?
It might be. I'm sure it doesn't just go away because I don't have the car anymore. But it is exciting. It's exciting to someone like me because I owe tickets in probably 5 or 6 states, if I had to guess. I've been running rampant on the ticket system for a while. But oddly enough, I checked the status of my driver's license, and it's not suspended, which is interesting because I owe a lot in Rhode Island. Rhode Island, I probably owe, probably $2,000 or something in tickets.
Isn't it by state, the suspensions?
Well, that's what I'm saying. In Rhode Island.
Oh, you checked in Rhode Island?
Yeah. Which is strange. I mean, I have a lot. I used to get...
And the plates are Rhode Island, too?
The plates are Rhode Island.
Because, like, in New York, you can't trade in your plates until you pay whatever you owe to. I don't know how it works in Rhode Island. But.
Gotcha. Yeah, in Rhode Island, all I had to do was go on the DMV website and just unregister my car. That's all I had to do. I didn't even need to send the plates in. I still have them. That's how they do business in Rhode Island. Shady, quick. That's why they don't make a ton of money.
Yeah, New York makes it as difficult as possible. If it's not difficult, it doesn't work.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, they emailed me.
That's crazy, too.
That's nuts. Somebody's job at that office, which is already a horrific... If your job, and, I don't mean to insult people, but if your job is being a person that puts tickets on cars, and I've said this before, you should consider eating a big bottle of pills and drinking it down with a fifth of something, preferably alcohol, because that's a job. I mean, you're there to just fuck people's days up. You have very little authority. Your only authority is amongst inanimate objects. Literally. You go to a car and you say, you're in trouble, and then you put that on there, and then I have to go to my car and pay that because I, for 2 hours or something, had my car in a non-designated spot. Like, it's tolls. We've talked about all these things a bunch. But a step below the actual meter maid might be the person that has to send emails to the people who haven't paid the meter maid yet. That's like they're like the errand boy. They're like the runner boy for the worst job ever, which
it's probably automated.
Makes that the worst job. You think?
Yeah, it could be a computer.
After so long. Yeah, I guess that would make sense. I'd rather have a computer do it,
Yeah, so the meter maid is still scum.
Meter maid is still
lower.
Still low tier, I would suppose. Maybe in some smaller towns where it's not as... They don't have as much capital behind their department. Maybe there is some poor guy that sits there all day and has to send out emails. Yeah, so I don't know. We're gonna see. I think it's. I'm just imagining the person that's sent out to go find my car. I think that's gonna be fun. I wish I could. I really thought about switching, like putting the license plate on another car. Not actually. But
on someone else's car?
I feel like that would be really, really funny.
One of your neighbors?
Yeah, exactly. And then I just watch it happen. And then you see the person come outside and they're like, no, I live in that car. I'm at my friend's house. What are you doing? That's my livelihood in that car. I'm homeless.
Most people probably wouldn't even notice if you switched their license plates.
Yeah, yeah. Well, mine are different states, so they might notice.
Mm.
Yeah, if it was the same state. Because for the longest time, I didn't. I mean, do I know my? I guess I know my license plate number. But for the longest time, I didn't. Because when the fuck do you need to know that? You know?
I know mine because I lived in Queens for a while and I got a lot of tickets, so I got it memorized because I would just type it in the app and pay it.
And pay them. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's the difference between us, you know? That's why this show works. We got the juxtaposition. You pay your tickets. I don't. I wait for the email. I like the idea of running them ragged. It's the same reason that I quit jobs for fun, which I haven't in a while, you know. I haven't in a while, but for the longest time I like doing it. I like stressing employers out, you know. Same thing with these people who do this job. Same thing with police officers. I mean, I got a ticket for smoking in the subway station a while ago, and I never paid that one. So, should I say more? Should I say more about all of this and how I'm doing illegal, how I'm not paying the New York City Police Department and meter department, whatever the fuck you want to call it? I feel like I should keep talking about how I'm illegally dodging payments like that. I don't know, but I think it is fun. I think it's at very least fun to fuck with these people. If you throw me in jail, I mean, it's not going to be real jail, right?
It might be.
You think? What do we think the highest, like, what can happen? You could definitely go to jail. I know that. But it's not like prison. You got to go to prison?
No, it's not prison.
No, it's like county, which I don't have any experience in, so
I don't think it'd even be county. Like, they might lock you up for a night until you pay whatever that you owe, and then if you don't have it, I guess, I don't know what happens.
I think they garnish your wages. I think they go after your money.
That's why you got to work off the books.
Yes, that would be nice, right? Here in New York, places like service jobs and shit, tips, they all go on a check.
That sucks.
You can get cash and you keep the cash, but it's not, it's not enough. It's not nearly enough to cheat the government out of, Because for the longest time, I mean, there's a story back home in Rhode Island of this restaurant that's been around for a really long time. It's called Twin Oaks. And the servers there were making so much money, like they would have summer homes, and they were claiming nothing. They were claiming nothing at all. And then the government stepped in and was like, hey, there's a rule now. You guys got to claim all this shit. That's when America was America, goddammit, when the small man could still evade taxes efficiently. The small man, you didn't need to be a billionaire to evade taxes. You didn't need to be a billionaire. You didn't need to be incredibly wealthy with a lot of power to evade your taxes. You could do it as just a server in a restaurant.
And just not having taxes would be amazing, right?
That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be good. I saw a meme recently that was like when it was like George Washington, and the meme was when you go to war for a 3% tax or something, and now everybody gets taxed, like just to live in New York.
Like 30%.
Yeah, it's stupid. Especially here, right? Here, L.A., the highest tax places. Boston. And arguably have some of the worst people. It's I think there might be a correlation. High taxes. Yes, you might have some nice bridges. You might have a nice school system, but the people, if you want to live around, you got to kind of make a choice, right? That's why it's so hard to buy a home, amongst other reasons. But it's so hard to buy a home and settle down because you got to decide, do I want to pay high taxes and live around douchebags, or do I want to pay less tax? Because you go to New Hampshire, there's no state tax. But
I was about to say that too. You don't want to. You probably don't want to do no tax either, because Florida,
they don't have taxes.
No state tax.
Whoa, I know Texas too.
Texas is okay though. A little wacky.
Yeah, a lot of people go to Puerto Rico.
You don't want to live in Florida though.
No, God, no. I think we've talked about the gators and the people. The people might be worse than the gators in Florida. It almost might be better if the gators took over Florida.
I think they have kind of.
Yeah, right. It's like the rats here.
Yeah, and then it's just like lizard people too.
Tons of lizard people, tons and tons of lizard people. But yeah, that's what's gonna happen. No taxes would be good. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens if you guys. If we're doing a show via Zoom, which I think they allow prisoners to do now, they should. It shouldn't just be over the phone, right? They should have Zoom in prison. Then you'll know. You'll know that the tickets got me. The tolls. I owe some tolls all around the place. You know, that's why I got an easy pass. But and then I junked my car immediately after. So I kind of had to. Too many problems, you know. Similar thing happened to a buddy. They towed his girlfriend's car, and they didn't give a fuck about the car or anything in it. So they were like, "That's yours. Keep it." You know, that's nice. That's nice. You get one in on them. I hope I can get one in on them here. I always like to celebrate that.
Was it just go to auction? Probably, I imagine.
Probably, yeah, yeah. Or they sell it to some immigrant. And then bust him later because they know the car.
It's uninsured and unregistered.
Yeah, they just, they put on their street clothes and sell it to a guy, and he buys it, and then they find out later on, by happenstance, where he lives and that he's a drug lord and the whole thing, you know. I can imagine that happening. Maybe somewhere, somebody's doing something illegal with the car I got rid of. I can only hope, because there was tons of illegal activities done in that. And I miss her. I miss her big time. But anyway, who gives a fuck about all that? I wanted to talk about everyone is, of course, you don't need me to say it. Everyone's worried about stuff all the time. And I was on Twitter recently, and I saw there's a movement, sort of a movement going on. There's this website. I like the name of it. The name of it sounds well, I don't know if I should say I like it, but the name of it is protectdemocracy.org. I really, something like that it can be a double-edged sword, right? Because it sounds a little QAnon-ish, right? We haven't really done a deep dive. That's what we're hoping to do, now. So here's the first thing. Our democracy is in danger. The 250-year American experiment in self-government is threatened by a global rise in authoritarianism. Together we can preserve democracy for future generations. Authoritarianism has been on the march around the world over a decade. Okay. I ask this, is there any government that doesn't exist with authoritarianism? Number one. And number two, out of the ones that do, which ones did we set up in the name of protecting democracy? Those are the first couple questions I think I have. Because if we want to talk about authority, we got a lot of that all over the place. We do a good job of bringing our authority to a bunch of different places that don't need us, right? Maybe they do need us, but most of the reason we go there is because they have cool things, they have cheap labor, they have tons of stuff. So democracy is in retreat around the world. The majority of countries grew more autocratic between 2011 and 2021. Okay, so this seems like a site that is interested in a bit of violence. They seem, and this is just undertones, right? We read kind of the first couple things. This is, it looks like they have a video of maybe.
I like how there's just a map with no key to it, and it.
That's true too. Yeah, we're supposed to look at that.
What does this mean?
Yeah, we're the only ones with democracy. Maybe that's what the red. Maybe that's what that means. I don't know, but I want to see this video. Is this video? It looks very Capitol riot-y to me. I'm not gonna say that it is. I think I see a Trump sign, but it does.
Yeah, it's already a very doctored image because the flag's backwards, the Trump sign is backwards.
Okay.
we could hit play though. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
let's see. Let's not play the volume.
all of us.
Oh, it's long.
That our democracy.
Okay.
Definitely Capitol riots.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Wow. This is big time. No mainstream media. Look at that. This is sharp decline in past decade by country and population. So places are sick of our shit. That's what we're hearing. Immune from this trend. Interesting. Okay, so this is a whole site. Can we click through it a little bit just to see if there's...
So they like graphs.
They like graphs. Now, what is this? Morning, blinking red. Okay. So we're at about a half of a significant... We're about halfway. So 2.2 out of 5 is the rating we have, the United States, for a threat of authoritarian rule. I'd like to know the Excel file that they made to get all this.
I don't think they have one.
So these are the metrics they go by, right?
Okay.
Treatment of media, executive constraints, elections. Those are the big ones. That's the most significant threat out of all of them, the elections. The rigged elections that we have. Rhetoric. Rhetoric is big, too. Okay, so the two biggest ones are rhetoric and elections. So it seems like these people are afraid of politicians kind of overstepping their boundaries. Now, what are the other countries? Scroll down. I think it's showing the threats in other countries. So India is pretty bad. They got a severe threat. Poland. I love how we're in the same... We have the same level of threat to our democracy as some of these other places. India, Poland, the UK... They're all significant threats. I'm sorry. India is a severe threat. Okay. Poland is in the Eastern Bloc, known as that place has been socialist and communist forever. I would think they would have a much higher threat than us, and they're only a little bit over. Okay, so this is very much a website for people, for old people, for QAnon people who are afraid. They're afraid of what's going to happen next, and they need to organize. This is, I don't know what do they have events? Are there events or something? What else? How do they organize shit like this? Because this is incredibly interesting. I've never seen anything like this before. This should worry people if you don't know, what the deal is. I think this is just showing that you're going to have to plug your laptop in.
Yeah.
It's showing that we are still at the top. We're still at the top because we can do stuff like this. We're able to put up entire websites that... Now, I can't say I'm against this necessarily. So our mission is to prevent our democracy from declining into a more authoritarian form of government. Since 2016, we have helped prevent an autocratic president from placing himself above the law by protecting independent law enforcement, shoring up checks and balances, and ensuring accountability for law breaking. So so this started with Trump. They have kind of a mixed message here. I'm not really understanding if they like him, if they don't. I don't know, because the video that they showed was very much in favor for people. It seemed like it was in favor for people who were parts of the riot. However, 2016...
We didn't hear the audio.
That's true. That is true.
So maybe they were talking badly about whatever the pictures were.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. But it is part of democracy to be able to do that, right? To be able to do that and not get murdered by your government, that's pretty democratic. To be able to go to one of the most important buildings in one of the most important cities in the world and kind of run up and go inside and wear costumes and fucking, do whatever. To be able to do that, that's pretty goddamn democratic. That's...
Where were you on January 6th?
I was cleaning my guns. I was cleaning my guns, getting ready for the revolution. This is a fun. I think this is fun. I think this is a little. It's QAnon with a cute, like a corporate kind of flair to it. You know, you don't feel as bad. There's not really conspiracy theories on here. They're kind of just bringing. You know, this might actually be a good thing. This might be good. It's, but it's at least interesting. They're trying.
Our picture's blocking it, but this is the most important part, right there.
Donate. There we go. We found it. They're not doing this just for. So where does this money go? How much have they been donated? I would like to see. I wish there was a figure that would say how much. Well, let me go up to threat and response. I think it says something about strategy. The strategy. What is it that they actually do? Our strategy. The autocrats have shared playbook with 4 strategic priorities we can ensure democracy strives and thrives. Can we click on that? Learn what you can do. Let's see what we can do, guys. Step 1, know the signs and the red lines. Step 2, engage in democracy locally. Step 3, find your voice. Lead a chorus. Okay, so sounds authoritarian to me. Find your voice and lead a group. All right, embrace your niche. Remember democracy in the voting booth and keep the faith. That last one you can get rid of, pretty much. You can get rid of that. This looks very manifesto. This looks very. So find your voice. You got to. That's the one that's most worrying. That sounds like you can't do any of this without authority. Is my point? I think we kind of can't do any of this. How can you do this if there's not somebody leading?
Write a letter to the editor when your local paper covers an issue related to democracy as a partisan dispute.
Yeah.
Circulate an open letter among your friends and colleagues standing up for democracy before ideology.
Democracy is an ideology. It is. What the fuck?
Organize a petition calling your elected representatives to vote for measures strengthening democracy, to push for accountability for abuses, or to reject election lies and conspiracy theories.
See, this is probably good stuff to do, but I don't think they know who they're talking to exactly. I dare you to ask the average American who probably hasn't wrote a thing outside of a text message or an email to their boss whose cock they have to suck. Ask them to write something after they've worked at fucking Chick-fil-A as a manager all day.
This is a good part, too.
Okay. So embrace your niche. Are you a veteran? Are you a teacher? Are you a tech expert? Are you a lawyer?
If you're a teacher, teach civics in your classroom.
I'm a math teacher. What do you... I don't understand. Are you a faith leader? Are you a journalist? Okay, so this is, again, this is all good stuff. The more, I wanted to come on here to make fun of it a little bit, but I can't, I mean, this is good. This is stuff that you'd want, but I don't think that anybody is that scared of their democracy. I just don't think most Americans care about any of that at all. They want to know what the next season of fucking, when the next season of The Bear is coming out. That was the first one I could think of. Most people don't give a fuck about this.
Cliffhanger ending.
Oh, is it? Was it
I
good?
think so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, cliffhanger ending. Kind of like this country. It's going to be a cliffhanger ending. We're going to see. No, I actually kind of like what they're saying here. It's just most people. I don't think anybody is chomping at the bit to defend their freedoms. We've had them kind of the way that they've been for a long time. I don't know if there's any way you can scare people. We have been a part of a proxy war with a country that we have had tensions with for before any of us were born, and that, there's been threats of nuclear war, the whole thing. That hasn't gotten anybody to do anything. And we see it all day, every day. That hasn't gotten anybody to do a goddamn thing. I can't imagine a priest, a faith leader, a pastor is going to take time out of their day to write letters to the newspaper. Also, this doesn't work if there isn't massive amounts of people doing it. You have to bombard, it. They also sound like they don't mind a little protest. It sounds there's some protesty stuff. It sounds like they're interested in that type of thing. I just think most people are trying Shaq's chicken sandwich instead. They're not.
Shaq has a chicken sandwich?
He's got one now. Yeah, him, Kevin Hart, everybody. I guess once you get famous and wealthy, you're like, huh. What else? It's just like side missions at this point.
Especially for Shaq, right? He just is always doing something new.
Right. Yeah, he's a DJ. He's done everything. He does everything. It's the lines of fame have gotten quite blurred. If you're famous for any aspect, you can pretty much do anything. You can start a line of socks if you want, and it'll fucking work, And obviously you can get famous. I mean, Shaq at least is talented. Shaq might be one of the best
or was
big men ever.
Probably still is, but
yeah,
was mostly.
Yeah, well, at least he got famous off of some ability. Same thing with Kevin Hart. And knowing that, it kind of sucks that they decide to make chicken sandwiches. Kevin Hart's is vegan though, so it's
terrible.
Fuck, who wants that? That's garbage. Yeah, I mean, chicken sandwiches, they've pretty much shifted our society, I think. Chicken sandwiches have run amok through us. Popeyes did their thing, and then since then it's just been every place, every person has to have a new kind of chicken sandwich. It's I've never seen that happen with another food that I think about. Has there been something that a chain did first? Maybe delivery with Domino's, but that's not a food. That's just a service. I'm thinking of they changed the fucking game. I feel like chicken sandwiches is the newest one, because before Popeyes, it was almost you only saw nobody ordered chicken sandwiches because they were grilled. They were grilled chicken sandwiches, and I don't think people were as interested.
Yeah, I mean, McDonald's always had like a McChicken.
Right. Yeah. Oh, of course. Every fast food place has had it, but Popeyes, for whatever reason, theirs was like revolutionary. It was real crunchy. Everyone liked how crunchy it was, and how that was nuts. That's something that I'm gonna remember when the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Everyone had to go try it.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah. The workers must have been fucking. They're like, why? Like, we get it. We work at Popeyes and it sucks, but why all of a sudden is this happening? You would go to places and they'd be like, we're out of chicken sandwiches, and you're like, but you guys have chicken? Just put it on
bread.
Sandwich. Yeah. They're like, no, we can't do that. This is the chicken for the chicken sandwiches. This is the other chicken. This chicken has crack in it. That's why everybody has gone bananas for it. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you really are concerned about your democracy and authoritarian rule, you should go and check out protectourdemocracy.com. If not, you should, you should keep doing what you're doing. Keep going to your job. Keep eating. Keep watching. And you're going to be okay. You're going to be all right as slowly more and more parameters start getting added into your life. And you will have looked back at this website and said, damn, we should have done something, but you didn't. You didn't. Instead, you got fucking half-off apps at Applebee's, Which, hey, that's a consolation prize. It's a consolation prize that you get to eat that for a really long time before they start kicking in your doors and telling you what to wear. Anyway, What do we got next? Let's. We've had enough on that. This is a fun one. Texas teacher finds fired after assigning an illustrated Anne Frank book. Now, I just want to say, an illustrated Anne Frank book is a hell of a move. I mean, that's ballsy. I don't know who wrote this. I don't know if the Anne Frank diaries needed pictures. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why someone would go ahead and do this. And I'm not exactly sure why a teacher would be fired for teaching something like this. I know Texas likes to pretend. They like to pretend that they are the free state, aside from the taxes. That is a good thing. But sometimes they do some wacky shit like this. They do some wacky shit like not allow women abortions. You know, that kind of stuff. A Texas middle school teacher has been fired after assigning an unapproved illustrated version of Anne Frank's diary to her 8th grade reading class. Let's see. After reading a passage from Anne Frank's diary, the graphic adaptation in which Frank wrote about male and female genitalia. Oh, God, wouldn't want people to hear about that. An investigation into the incident has since ensued. Why an investigation? What needs to be investigated here? As you may be aware, following concerns regarding curricular selections in your students' reading class, a substitute teacher has been facilitating the class since Wednesday. Oh, so she's a sub. Or is this somebody else?
See, that I hate right there. When you're a substitute, you're just supposed to show movies.
You show movies. That's it. You show movies.
You don't try and teach.
No. God, no.
Substitute.
Especially long-term subs. I remember having a long-term sub for a science class, but he was a history teacher. So he just showed us movies, and we watched the Apollo 13 movie, and fucking... Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Maybe this bitch should have gotten fucking fired. What is she doing? Anne Frank, a Jewish teenager, journaled her experiences as she and her family hid for 2 years during the Nazi occupation of the Netherlands. Her diary was published in 1947. Okay. Well, previous versions of Frank's diary omitted sections in which she wrote about sexuality. The 2018 graphic novel adapted by Ari Folman, which is very Jewish sounding, and illustrated by David Polanski, remains faithful to the original text. Okay, so these guys decided that we're gonna do this the right way. We're done with the censorship. We're done with this bullshit. We want people. It's 2018, all right. That's when this book came out. That was before all the craziness. You know, sounds crazy to say that 2018, not that long ago, it was completely different. And people were probably fine with this book in 2018, but now because they didn't make Anne Frank a transgender with, trying to make it as a pottery instructor or something. They didn't change the story enough. They kind of kept it too real for people, and they made it Now, I don't know the extent of what she talks about in her, about her sexual stuff, but I'm sure that's got to be, if you're hiding from the Nazis in an attic, you're probably very sexually repressed. You got to get it out one way or another. I'd argue that her original diary, the pages were probably wet, if we're being real. Listen, guys, put yourself in her shoes. As hard as it is, right? As hard as it is to imagine living through something like that, you also have to imagine she's not getting laid, she was young, right? She was young, but also in those days, people were fucking younger. All the songs, the rock songs about, people fucking children, right? That's a whole thing.
Sweet Caroline.
Little Queenie by fucking, what's his name? Chuck Berry. He literally says she's 16 or something in the song. Like, this was normal in those days, I guess. It wasn't as frowned upon, we can say. I'm sure it was still strange, but it wasn't. Imagine being locked in an attic afraid of your life, you at least, need to get your rocks off, right? You at least, and she did it by writing. She at least wrote about it. So these guys said, hey, let's make this real. Let's make pictures. I don't know. Maybe this one was too woke. Maybe this one went a little too much. How old were the kids? Does it say what was it, second grade? Maybe it's up at the top. Or eighth grade. I think it was an eighth grade class. Which, if it's eighth grade, is even...
Yeah, eighth grade.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what the fuck? They're already learning about that stuff. They're already having, like, health class talks about gonorrhea, and they're showing them the disgusting picture. That's all I remember from health class. I don't remember ever actually learning anything about health, but when we got to the sex stuff, it was literally only pictures of disgusting diseases.
I feel like it was like fifth grade. They show you like a puberty video too.
Yes.
That like literally shows like a flaccid dick. Like, this is you flaccid. This is you hard.
Yeah.
And all the ins and outs of it.
And now they've added to it, and it's like if you put a finger in your ass, now your dick gets hard. If it's like the jump start,
If you're non-binary, you may still do this.
Yeah. If you can't get it up, maybe you should
Cut it off.
light it. You should cut it off. You should consider switching altogether.
Should we flip the light?
Oh yeah, good call. Good call. Intermission.
Much better.
That is nice. Yeah, maybe they should have taken a little more creative liberty with this book. They should have had Anne Frank be... She should have been the first Jewish girl to shave her head before she got captured. That could have been an angle they went with. They could have had kind of a...
Like she was in preparation. Like she was like hoarding food, doing push-ups.
Yeah, she was ready. She's like, if they're gonna take me, And she was all sexually charged up, young Anne Frank up in an attic alone. It's criminal to deprive our children of a story like this. I think so. It's one of those things. I mean,
You're gonna write a fan fiction of Anne Frank now.
Yeah, we are, and we're gonna turn it into a movie. It's and then this lady, she can star in it. She can be Anne Frank, the woman who did this. Or we can get some of the kids in her
What's she look
class.
like, you think?
This woman?
Did they give her a name?
Oh, I don't know.
I'll Facebook her.
I'm not sure. I don't know. It's a little much. I mean, we learned about horrendous shit in school. You should learn about that stuff. I mean, it is history. It is history that Anne Frank wrote about wanting she wanted a Nazi serviceman to fuck her with the butt of a MP40. I mean, it's...
Is that what she wrote?
I don't know. I mean, I can imagine if she did write about that, I can imagine the graphics, like the pictures. She does look very innocent on the front of that page. She looks younger than what she, I think, actually
I do
is.
want to see more illustrations. I'm going to see if I can find something.
Let's see it. What's it called? Do we know what it's called? It's by Ari Folum or something. Let's see. How much is it? Okay, not bad. 20-some bucks. What an idea to have a graphic novel made of this. Like, let's see. Okay, we got all the table of contents here. The people she was locked up with, I'm assuming. Okay.
Okay, so pretty much all of them are her family, though, so far. Okay, this is her family,
Right.
and then these are the other people.
Okay. Yeah, there's helpers, there's people that live downstairs. Right. See, this doesn't look bad. This looks okay. It doesn't I don't know if Anne Frank should be a comic book. I'm not sure if it's that that's the necessary medium for this. But I mean, the lady, the teacher's heart was in the right place. She's trying to teach people she's trying to teach kids who were probably around Anne Frank's age when this happened, what can fucking happen to you? You know, what can happen if you don't go to protectourdemocracy.com and an authoritarian dictatorship takes over, and next thing you know, you're writing dirty stories in an attic all alone, hiding for your life. Now imagine that. Look at that picture. You could just draw like this guy drew swastikas. He drew he had to draw swastikas.
A lot of them.
Right? He had to draw. That's different now. It's one thing if you take pictures. This guy drew swastikas. This is democracy. This is, people are worried, but to be able to even make something like this, to make a comic book out of a piece of historical, something like this, I don't know. I feel like this disruption of books, it's not a great path to go, destroying books because or villainizing people. Not saying that this book is even on a banned list. Anybody can buy it. You can go on Amazon, but it is. I think that this woman may be. Aside from her being a substitute and trying to impose her will here, I think she should still be able to work. If she can work, if people in Florida can talk about cock and ball torture and anal stimulation to children in schools, this is at least this is historical.
And not pay taxes.
Well, they're not doing it here either in Texas. So I mean, it's kind of. It would be un-American to not allow this woman to let her kids learn about this. So I don't know. I don't know if this is a sign for we need better safeguards on public education. I don't know what's the bigger sign, something like this or all the kids that get murdered in school every year. I don't know which one is going to draw greater results. This goes back to my initial point of people, not really giving a shit about what the case is. They just kind of. This was a good article, though. It got me to click on it, and I'm happy we did. What do we got next? Let's see. Elon Musk. He's going to charge us for Twitter, for X. What time is it, by the way?
42 minutes in.
Oh, nice. Very good. We've been rambling. Yeah, Musk is he's gonna charge us for Twitter. I think his reasoning is to stop bots. I don't know if that is what's going to stop the bots. The bots make a lot of money. There's some money in this. There's especially the Russian bots. They have a lot of fucking money. So let's see. Musk said earlier this month that Twitter's U.S. ad revenue is down 60%. He has blamed the company's ad challenges on civil rights and consumer groups, putting pressures on big brands. Musk replied, "The single most important reason we're moving to having a small monthly payment for X is the only way I can think to combat vast armies of bots." Musk said adding a subscription would make it more difficult for bots to create accounts because each bot would need to register a new credit card. He added that the company plans to come out with a lower tier pricing than $8 a month for premium users. Okay. So it seems like we're giving Twitter a little bit more of a what's the word I'm looking for? Like an impact than it actually might. Like I feel Twitter is supposed to be the place. It's supposed to be the town square. It's supposed to be no holds barred, which is good. I agree with all of that. But to charge, it's almost like you're charging for that freedom of speech, And it feels a little less genuine when something like that happens, right? We don't want to be charged to go on Twitter to watch people get beaten and strangled to watch porn. You go on Twitter, there's porn, lots of porn. You don't have to, and it's homemade, it's homegrown. You're going to tell me that I need to pay to watch homegrown pornography on Twitter? This is getting, this whole episode is exposing the chinks in our armor. Is that the word? I hope I didn't. Is it kinks? Chinks?
I think it is chinks in the armor.
Okay. All right. That's the word we wanted. That's.
I'm not putting it in my search bar either. So
right. No, we shouldn't. No, there's no.
We're
need.
gonna roll with it.
There's no need. Yeah. I think that was the Shane Gillis word that got him kicked off Saturday Night Live when he was talking about something else, right? Not armor.
I know chink in the armor as in when Lynn Sanity was going on. I don't know if you follow basketball.
Yep.
But Jeremy Lin, he had a big 7-game stretch, and when it started to dwindle down, the New York Times, their lead article, wrote "chink in the armor." Just an all-time.
Did they really?
All-time bad job.
That's insane. That's that's far worse than what we've done. I just think about it when Mike Tyson said it. Because he says it funny. Chink in his armor. That video of him when he's talking about how he would go in and fuck people up, and he's like, I'm staring at him, I'm looking at him. I'm staring. I'm a god. Yeah, I'm a god. Yeah, exactly. I see a chink in his armor. He looks away. Yeah. Look at that. ESPN uses chink in the armor line twice. ESPN fires one employee, suspends another. Wow. When did this happen?
This was 2012.
Different time, people. This was a different time. Still
they
bad.
Used it in a printed New York Times, and then it was also online.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Still very bad. Nonetheless. No.
Front page.
Front page. ESP. Look how old that looks. That's on an iPad.
Yeah.
iPads are like useless. I feel like they've always been useless. The tablets. You already have one in your pocket. You need a bigger one?
Yeah, now you don't need it.
No, it's completely unnecessary. It's like the iPod, they all phase out.
Or like a pocket watch.
What's like these things?
Yeah, people used to carry pocket watches.
Right.
Instead of wearing a watch, you used to carry a pocket watch.
Imagine the innovation it took to create an attachment to your clock to now tie it around your wrist. Yeah, there's been a lot. This charging for Twitter, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure people are going to pay. I'm sure they're going to lose some people. People might go over to Threads. I haven't created a Threads account. I don't need any more. So maybe I will. Maybe I will after this. But if I do, I'm going to get rid of Twitter. It's already too fucking many. There's too many. I'm already dreading the next big piece of social media that comes out, which it's kind of been a while. Like all the newer ones kind of phased out. Like there was Clubhouse, even Tumblr, Visco. They're not really a fucking Visco's like
Tumblr used to be big when when maybe it's still big for like middle school girls or something. But now it's just TikTok.
Yeah, you could go on Tumblr as a middle school girl and put horrible things. You could, like repost a picture of saying I'm going to kill myself written in blood. That was middle school. That was high school Tumblr for a lot of girls. And Visco is kind of just that's like the Instagram to be whorish. You know what that one is? VSCO.
Yeah, VSCO. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, that's like
it started as a photo editing app.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then thotties latched onto it.
Sure, as it happens. Well, yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of having a place like Twitter where you can say what you want, do what you want, whatever. You need that in general. His mind's in the right place, And as a fellow super genius, I think I don't know if this is the right move. He's obviously it's kind of getting out of hand with what we're doing. what we're doing here with Twitter and the pedestal we're kind of putting it on. It's becoming something much different, and it may fade out of existence, and in which case people are going to be very unoccupied, and when that happens, that's when you got to head over to protectourdemocracy.com, and now that you got all this free time, that's another thing people will write. They'll write tweets. They'll write lots of tweets. Which you can, and I guess that can be a part of your gig as well. I don't know. If this does happen. There's a good chance I get rid of Twitter. I know a lot of people are going to be in that same boat. And it's partially un-American. I would argue that charging for something like this is probably. I don't know how much of a privilege it actually. Like, you're paying for a privilege that doesn't really make it a privilege. I don't know. Who gives a shit about that anyway? Fuck Elon Musk and fuck Twitter too. Let's do one more. I don't give a fuck about these aliens. I wanted to talk about RFK Jr. finally getting what's coming to him. God damn it. This family is so... They are the most unlucky people around, right? And it is unluckiness. It's not any kind of government thing where anybody whose last name is Kennedy almost gets killed, because finally they're going after AFK Jr. Finally, for all the horrible things he's doing. He's trying to talk about the Sacklers and how they destroyed this country with opiates, and oh God, terrible, terrible, terrible things this guy's trying to do. And I guess somebody was trying to fucking kill him. Somebody was trying to kill him in L.A. at a campaign event, and there was a security breach. Someone had holsters and pistols and ammunition and the whole thing. Let's see. LAPD identified the suspect as Adrian Paul Espudo, 44. Booking records show Espudo is being held on felony charges, $35,000 bail, which really isn't a lot. I could bail that guy out right now if I fucking wanted to. And maybe I will. Maybe me and him can take out the last fucking Kennedy that's trying to fuck up this whole thing. I am the first presidential candidate in history to whom the White House has denied a request for protection. That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to read. After Democratic nominee RFK was assassinated, so his dad in L.A., who was okay, wow, Jesus. In 1968, Congress changed the law to authorize Secret Service protection for major candidates. Wow. So his dad getting murdered ushered in a new law and a new legislation to protect people from getting murdered. And now it's being denied to the son of the guy that got murdered. It's like if the Diaz brothers, like Nick got suspended for weed, he got suspended a really long time for weed and lost out on his career. And then they made a law or like a rule in the UFC. You can
out of competition.
Exactly. You can smoke weed. You can do the whole thing. It's like if when Nate tried doing it, they suspended the same thing. It's kind of like, it's like that same shit. It's ironic. It's at least ironic.
And then there's videos of him blowing smoke in like the USADA guy's face.
Like, really?
Yeah, like the guy who comes to test him to take a piss test and a blood test and all that. He was like, "Yeah, I don't gotta pee yet," and he was just blowing smoke clouds in his face.
They're the best. I love the video of Nick when he's on the phone with like his manager or something, and he just puts it on speaker, and he's smoking a bong, and he's doing nunchucks, walking around his apartment. They're the best. Nick Diaz for president. Fuck RFK Jr. Yeah, I mean, it's funny what he's doing, though, RFK. He's just going on, like, comedians' podcasts, and that's, like, his campaign trail. Like, he's been on Tim Dillon.
Yeah, it's the only people who will have him.
Yeah, which is nuts. It's nuts that there's a guy who wants to change. Well, I guess it's not nuts, right? We don't like it when people want to change things, especially the the authoritarians. God damn it! This whole episode really turned into a call to action. I think. I think this whole episode is really an ad for protectourdemocracy.com. They should start paying us. You know, I think that's what we're gonna make the clip this week. We're gonna tag them. We're gonna make the whole thing. Maybe we can get something happening here. We can get a partnership with the people who are on our side. God damn it.
Honestly, my feet smell so bad from working all day. I can't even focus on anything else. You have to have smelled it by now.
Yeah, I haven't. I've been smoking this thing. I've been smoking this blueberry petrochemical.
I've just been sitting here like, Jesus Christ, it smells like
fucking feet.
Expensive cheese in here. And I know it's my feet.
Isn't it funny how when it's expensive cheese is a good thing for it to smell like shit?
Yeah,
but
it smells terrible.
Yeah. They're like, this is the best fucking cheese in the world. It smells like dog shit, you know? Yeah, I don't know, guys. Head on over, like we said a million times, to the website, protectourdemocracy.com. If you don't want to see RFK get murdered, if you don't want to see Elon Musk charging us for freedom of speech, and if you want to be able to read the disgusting sex novel known as Anne Frank's Diary in comic book form, if you want to keep doing all those things, you got to head over, get yourself educated, get yourself organized, and on that note, now that we've got our propaganda out to everybody, I think we're gonna wrap this bad boy up in the spirit of the revolution, in the spirit of fighting for this country and for our freedoms. And
sounds like you just got a whiff of my feet.
And the freedom and the freedom to keep doing what you're doing, like listening to an asshole like me talk about the horrible things that I talk about. Thank you so much for listening and playing along today. We will talk to you next week. So long.